If we bet on Sam Houston State today, whether it wins the squad round or not, but if we bet on Sam Houston State today and they don't cover and they don't win, I will buy a Sam Houston State jersey and wear it for a week on stream, looking like a fucking idiot. Yeah, he's a moose shit coach. He's a terrible coach. Get Ron Rivera out of here. I'm not even saying to hand the keys over to Bahenemy yet. All I'm saying is this is not our head coach. This is not a winner. This is not our guy. Listen up. All right, take a little mental screenshot of this one. Boop. Give me the Ravens laying 3. Come on, it's got to be Baltimore must play here. They're winning this game big. It's going to be an under game. They're going to be running the shit out of the ball, and they're going to win this game by 5+, maybe 10+. I mean, if you have to listen to Jameis Winston for advice on the sidelines during a game, that's probably when you got to hang him up and maybe go with a different game plan here, Javon, because if he's seeing something that Derek Carr and the coach aren't, that's an issue to me.
That's just Jimmy Butler activities now. I just don't know if I can click a square and just say, you know what? I'm going to go to the grave with Jimmy Butler today when I see that cut, that profile.
I'm watching them rock down. Brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying to savor it.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 352 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, after a moose shit day with terrible wagers that lost. We need to get back in the lab and find the people plays that hit, Javon, because yesterday's didn't.
That's why we're here today. That's why we're here.
Let's cut the shit. We're on the recap. All right, let's talk about these losers. They were all close. 0 cigar on the majority of these. Javon, the call of the night was Arizona plus 1.5 on the ice in that game to go to OT. It was always a squad ride. Besides that, though, and my Akron plus 3.5, which barely hit an OT in football, pretty much moose shit wagers all around. Not good.
Yep. Good bit of moose. Good bit of moose. That's why we're here with a pretty moose shit slate to work with to kind of try and get it back to that.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about the games this weekend for college football and NFL, looking at some of these lines, Javon. But we'll definitely take a peep at some of these college basketball games today, too, as well. We have these moose shit squares from yesterday. College basketball and NBA and NHL. No bueno. On the A team and the B team yesterday, Javon. I think they both missed. One missed by 1, one missed by 2. Either way, they were both losers. Good call on SGA less than. That was a good square. But no cigar with Ashworth there. So we moved, chat. We got to be so much better. Okay. And I actually do have an NBA play that I like today. Pivoting a little bit on this atrocious college basketball slate. Sure, we're going to go over all the games. We're going to talk about them. I have a couple that I like, but there is an NBA game, Javon, that's looking at me a little funny that we'll get to towards the end as we get a little Lembong sub-bang W's. Chat, we should have a search stream after BTL today as well from Mikey and Shelly running the show, being beasts, stepping up while Trent is away. And I think Trent returns tonight or tomorrow, I believe. So expect search stream back as usual tomorrow. But I think there is still a show with Mikey and Shelly later after BTL, which is a W. So stick around, give support to your boys who are running the show as we get a Ron Mux Clam subbing. I mean, Ron Mux Clam and Lembong, it's like fucking PB&J, man. It really is.
It's literally it's the Kobe and Shaq video.
It's literally Kobe and Shaq. Unbelievable. 2 goats. Non-basic gamer coming in hot with a subby. Love it. Hype train starting up a Wednesday. Chat, we need it after yesterday's losers. Okay. Javon, we've got a couple plays we like, and we're going to start putting out best bets graphics right after the show ends. WIDA yesterday. We've got ours already made, freshly pressed. You could call it, Javon. 3 plays each that we love, and we'll talk about them a little bit throughout the show today. Why don't we talk about some wagons? I want to start up a new segment today, Javon, and talk about a wagon in any sport, team, player, coach, whatever it is. Just, a goat, a wagon right now that's going to be, a beast, has been a beast, and is going to continue to be a beast down the line, Javon. I think we both took college basketball teams for our Wagon Wednesday picks today, which I like. Why don't we get it started and cut the shit here and rip the Band-Aid off? My wagon today on Wednesday is Duquesne, the Duquesne men's basketball team. They kind of are a wagon. 3 in a row, sure. They're going to make it 4 tonight, and I'll give you guys that sell job as well. But, we all know who the stud is on this team. It's Day Grant, the transfer from Miami of Ohio. This kid is an absolute beast. Shot over 40% from 3 last season, and he picked up right where he left off this year. The kid's a menace. He's an absolute raw scorer, one of the best scorers in college basketball, in my opinion. And Javon, this team, after a pretty good season last year, returns almost all of their guys, and they've added some really good pieces from the portal as well. They added the Drame brothers from LaSalle, 2 big men who are holding it down. One of the Drame brothers, Fusini, is actually really fucking good. He's coming off a really good game where he had, I think, 15 points. So he's a stud, and they have the other Drame coming off the bench as well. And Javon, this team is massive. I know they have 2 stud guards, honestly 3 stud guards. Kareem Rozier, the sophomore, who's going to step up a little bit more this season and should be a little bit better and take more shots, more of a role in the offense. We know Day Grant, best player on the floor almost every game this team plays. Jimmy Clark, he came over as a transfer last year from VCU, I believe, and is one of the best defenders in the A-10. Guys, this team is probably going to win the A-10, in my opinion. They're a sleeper pick, and they're huge. Their depth on the bench, man. They've got this graduate 6'10 dude, Dusan Marahek, who's coming over from NC State, Javon, who was a beast last season off the bench for them. He's going to be coming off the bench for Duquesne this season as well. This team has so much size. I'm very impressed by Duquesne. I like their coach, Keith Dambrot, who's only had 1 losing season coaching D1 in his entire career. Pretty impressive. He's got this Duquesne program on the rise, and they're off to a great start, Javon. They actually beat Charleston Wagon, who we know from last season was a cash cow for us. They destroyed Charleston on their home floor, which nobody ever does. Yeah, that's a wake-up call. That's a sign for me to hop on the wagon for Duquesne this season. I'm all in. They have their stud scorer in Day, and they have a great coach, and they have depth. They have veterans. They have it all. They have size. Javon, it's Duquesne's year, and you're going to see them cover again today as well. Love them. Probably my favorite play on the college basketball slate.
These boys are rolling.
Yeah, they are.
They look good. They look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to them. I'm with you there.
Sure.
I don't know about today, but the overall wagon status, I'm with you. Going with McNeese, because this wants to be, or I want this to be a little precursor to it, because we were supposed to talk about it, I think, before the season started, and we were going over the stuff. We didn't get the chance. I don't think we did a show that day, right the day of their win on the road at VCU, which I can pretty confidently say is the best win any team from the Southland has had in non-conference and maybe ever. You can look back at, I don't know, some of the wins in like the early 2000s, I guess, with those teams. I guess you could argue are kind of on the same level. But no team has really looked this impressive or hadn't a win that impressive in recent history. And now they're 4-0, like the graphic says, the first time 51 years. I'm not really counting the other 3 wins as something that impresses me because they're all against non-D1 schools. But when you watch this team, you can tell that there is a little Will Wade effect on this team. And a reason why I love the Southland, and I've been betting it a lot, is because you can target a lot of these teams that are not very well coached, and you can just target like YMCA pickup basketball. They don't look like that. They don't look like that at all. And it's not just because
that's because they have a great coach who's a piece of shit who got kicked out of LSU.
Yes.
Turn their program around. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Looks fantastic coaching wise. But they also have like a ton of guys with experience, and they're deep, which really every Southland team has 1, maybe 2 scorers that just dominate the ball. They have a lot. They have like Shahada Wells, really the main guy in the picture coming from TCU. They have CJ Felder, who's had experience at Boston College and UF. They have DJ Richards coming from UTSA, and Tavion Collum from Ole Miss, and he played at Bakersfield too. And then main guy who's been there, from the start, Kristen Shumate, who's one of the best players in the Southland, who's an absolute beast. So like they're so deep, and I think they're going to be like really undervalued coming into the Southland season. And to add on to that, they have a lot of road games, but kind of unusual, like a lot of the Southland teams. They don't have really many big like teams that they play in non-conference. They're not going to just get like shit pumped by somebody on the road, except for one game against Michigan, which I think is like the last game of their non-conference. But other than that, playing a lot of mid-major teams. So I think we're going to see a couple of upsets like that, like they had on the road against VCU, against teams like Louisiana Tech and potentially like UAB, some of the teams they have coming up the next couple of weeks. So sneaky wagon. Don't be surprised when you see them win a couple of games and be better than a Southland team's been in the last couple of years, and maybe, just maybe, make it to the tournament not in the first 4, which would be crazy to say.
And yeah, if you guys are trying to learn more about college basketball, and I hate that this covers up the bottom of Javon's beautiful face, super beat, but the Almanac, it's a must cop. It's $20, not an ad. They're not paying me shit. I'm just trying to help you guys out. You can still cop it. It's still valuable, in my opinion. I mean, Javon, you could use that puppy all throughout the fucking first half of the season while you're still getting your feet wet in college basketball, right? Too many teams, too many players, too many changes to not be checking out that guide. and using that to make better decisions on the hardwoods. Javon, 2 wagons on Wednesday that we like in CBB. I was expecting 1 CBB play on BTL. I don't know if I was expecting 2 CBB wagons today, but I can get down with it. McNeese State with their piece of shit coach from LSU who's going to completely turn that program around and have them playing like the 95, 96 Bulls. It's already happened.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, talent-wise, obviously you have Will Wade, and, like, he's going to bring talent to that team, but they are, like, head and shoulders above everybody else in that conference. And I don't think anybody realizes it because nobody gives a shit. But they're going to be a good team and a coin respecter, I think, for a majority of the season. So they're probably going to be like my wagon in that conference instead of just taking the overs.
Okay. Yes, last year a lot of Southland overs, right? I think you're going to be targeting more just McNeese and backing them as a wagon this season. Okay.
100%.
W's. Chats, those are our 2 wagons on this Wednesday. Keep your eyes peeled on the Duquesne Dukes and the McNeese. What the fuck are that?
Cowboys.
The McNeese Cowboys. Sure. How could I forget? Come on. Yeah, let's stop bitching like we are, like we set our first bet of our life yesterday, guys. We lose bets all the time, but we win more than we lose, and we move on to the next day.
We got 3 or 4 in a row before that. People were bitching.
Yep. It's just how the world works, man. 2023, handout central. People just want winners. Let's keep moving. Javon, do we want to talk about some college football and NFL look-ahead lines? I know there's one college football line that I literally have printed on the inside of my eyeballs that I can just kind of, see through as I walk around the world for the rest of the week until we get through Saturday. It's that Oregon State line, and it's stinky. Yeah. It reeks, and I can't stop looking at it or thinking about it. You want to go over a couple of these college games for the weekend and see if we can get some value before the lines move, or check out any lines that are looking kind of weird, some head scratchers?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we can start with Oregon State. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, and it's up to, 2.5 now? Okay.
Yeah. That is, I mean, I've been looking forward to this game for a while. I'll say that because I've felt very good, and I've talked about it about Washington not going undefeated. And this is a spot where a lot of ranked teams and good teams have gone to die historically in Corvallis. But this line is looking at me. It's not the same situation, obviously, but it's looking at me with the same sort of confidence that the 49ers was last week. So I am feeling pretty good as one of the spots that I kind of marked out for the last couple of weeks, and going to it, I can't say I was expecting them to be favored by maybe a field goal as close as that, but I will gladly take whatever for Oregon State this weekend.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make it make sense. I really can't. You've got Oregon State, who, sure, they've done their job. They are no slouch, not one bit. They're impressive. They are, and I doubted them before the season. I'll be honest, I did. I doubted them. They're sitting here 8-2. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've covered a good chunk of their games this season. I think they're 6-4 ATS this year. But it doesn't fucking matter, Javon. They're going against undefeated Washington, who has Michael Penix, who's up there for the Heisman vote. I know he's not the favorite, but he's fucking up there. I think he's second. And they've got a team, and they've got a chance to still make the college football playoffs if they stay undefeated. This is going to be a tough game. There's not going to be a seat open in Corvallis, Javon. It's going to be fucking loud as shit. Good luck, Michael Penix, who, by the way, has looked a little shakier recently than he has in the beginning of the season when people were talking about how he doesn't turn the ball over, people talking about how he makes the perfect decisions. And guys, I like him. I think he's a good QB, but recently he's been turning the ball over. There's no doubt about it. Check the Carfax, check the data. They're there. He's throwing picks. He's not been, protecting the ball like he was in the first half of the season when this team was elite. And I have some questions about the Washington secondary. I do. And I think Oregon State might be able to exploit some of this weekend. Love that the line's moving that way, Javon. I'm fucking stoked to nuke the late night bathe. I'm in.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, as bad as their secondary is,
feed me in.
As bad as their secondary is, you know what, you can probably pencil into the 5 guys for me. Damian Martinez might run for 200 yards.
Martinez.
He's going to grub. So, as much as I would love to believe that DJ has to have a masterclass against this Mooshid secondary to dominate this game, he doesn't have to. So, I think we can get to a point where he is not exactly needing to do very much in this game, and he respectfully is soaring over that number. I don't think it's even close.
And I'm in on that. Are they still running 2 RBs these days, or has it pretty much just been Martinez recently?
It's been a little more Martinez. I'm pretty sure it's not as
because the first half of the season it was pretty much split, maybe 55% Martinez. But
yeah, I mean he's still getting 15 carries a game, just about.
Okay.
So that's plenty of volume for me. Fenwick is not nearly as
the
much.
senior is a freaking he's a poacher, but honestly, he has not been getting the rock as much in the last 4 weeks than he was in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he's been super. I don't know if that's a reason why, but he hasn't been like nearly as efficient the last handful of weeks, which they're playing, I guess, better run defenses than San Jose State and UC Davis like they did at the beginning of the year. But yeah, Damian Martinez has been so much better, and he is 150 plus, I think, minimum this week.
Okay. What other games for the weekend in college football are you looking at right now, Javon, where you're just scratching your head? You're saying, what the fuck is going on with this line, huh? What's up with this puppy?
There is one that I am honestly debating stepping over towards, Baylor TCU, which I am certainly not looking for reasons to bet TCU because that team is absolute moose shit and I can't stand them right now. But this is a rivalry game that quite often has come down to the wire, including last year when TCU was obviously significantly better than they are this year and significantly better than that Baylor team. 13 is fat for the way they've been playing. And it's not to say that Baylor has been good themselves because they have been absolutely god-awful. But seeing a 13 in this game absolutely shocked me. It's another one where it kind of does make a little bit of football sense too. Baylor is one of the worst run defenses in the nation. So kind of the same way I see Damian Martinez against Washington's run defense. Amani Bailey against the Baylor run defense is pretty similar. But, I mean, good God, I don't think TCU deserves to be favored by 13 against anybody right now, which is making me think that they are going to demolish Baylor.
I'm in. It could be the Frogs. I mean, something's got to give. Fucking turn it around. Flip the script, coach. What'd you just get paid for, Sonny? Figure it out. Earn your money. Earn your paycheck, brother. You just got fucking paid. Now your team sucks dick. You just went to the national championship last year. Grow up. Figure it out, Frogs. Right?
They're wearing the red jerseys too this weekend.
Okay, they're not fucking around this week. Good.
No, whenever they feel confident about some shit going down, they pull out the red jerseys, and it usually goes pretty well.
All right, good. And we got hella sub bangs too, Javon. I got to catch up on some of these. We got coffee, not coffee, sub banging, sitting in class watching BTL instead of paying attention to my lecture is my favorite pastime. Coffee, not coffee. At least you're at the fucking class because I retired from class sophomore year, so good for you. We got Zayo Eagles. Definitely saying that wrong, but we got my guy 3 months banging, 3 months of making coin. Love to see it, my man. We got a hype train moving and grooving. We got Baumgartner Jackson coming in, giving out a sub bang, 17 months. Holy shit. We got Ian coming in, giving out a subby. We got LC Show resubbing, non-basic gamer. Let's fucking go, boys. Sure. Love to see it. We got Oza coming in hot with a subby. Sure. Love to see it. Guys, I need you to lock in. I'm down bad on a Tuesday. All right. Suma Nasty. Here's what we're going to do if you're down bad. This is what you guys should be doing every day you're down bad. You turn on BTL. You wait till we do the squad ride. You vote for it. And then you lock in the winner for a responsible couple units or a unit if you're not down coins. That's how you get out of piss, folks. It's really that simple. And today's slate, not elite. Okay. But there's definitely some winners to be found, Javon. And we're going to talk about them. Let's go over a couple more of these weird college lines though first for a sec.
Yeah, we probably got to talk about Miami.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about BC Pitt for a second. I know it's on a weekend play. It's tomorrow. But it's worth noting because, I mean, I'd love your opinions since you're a BC slurper. Pitt as a favorite against BC. It's an auto play for a unit. Don't have a choice. I know BC is coming off of 2 losses, right? But still ridiculous in my opinion. And it's probably worth a unit on Pitt.
Yeah, probably. Them going up to 3 from, I think it opened like 1.5 is
they opened up a dog, at least at the opener. That might have been last week. But either way, I mean, at some point they were a dog in this matchup as they should be. It's Pitt. They suck, right? But they're home. BC trending downwards, unfortunately. But you already got your win total, so who gives a hoot?
They can do what they want.
And the line keeps moving. And the splits look good. It's got to be Pitt tomorrow.
Probably has to be.
And then you're talking about Miami. Is that what you brought up?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Miami against Louisville. God damn it, dudes. I hate betting on this Miami team. I do. What a wagon they were early on in the season. I mean, we don't have a choice in this spot. We have to. But what are you going to say? What's making you feel better about Miami this week?
I mean, it's such a weird situation. Like, I hate betting on Miami too, but I feel like I've been pretty decent at picking spots with them. So now coming off last week, like I love that they finally showed a little bit of fight and happened to be with Emory Williams, who I guess is now out of the picture because he's got like season-ending surgery or something. And You're going back to Tyler Van Dyke, and I faded a similar spot to this last week with Brennan Armstrong coming back, which I guess was a little bit different because I was just kind of by choice redshirting MJ Morris, and going back to Armstrong to give him his little senior send-off. I feel like Tyler Van Dyke is going to do similar things to this Louisville team, which feels, I don't know, I'm kind of tired of the Louisville seeing them up there because I think they're leaps and bounds worse than a lot of the teams that they're surrounded by in the rankings. But I think on the road this week, it kind of finally comes to a halt, and we see a really good game from Miami.
Yeah, coming off of 2 losses, barely over 500. They're going to be in a ball game. They are 6-4 after their good start. So they're not like panicking or anything. They're not going to absolutely fold like a Dollar Tree lawn chair and play like shit because they're so nervous about missing a bowl now. They're already locked in. And Louisville, on the other hand, I mean, what adversity has Louisville overcome this season at all? They get their new coach. They plug in their new QB, their new transfers. Everything works fucking perfectly right off the rip. They're 9-1 right now. Every team they've played has played like shit against them, literally every single one. And honestly, their schedule is pretty easy if you just look at it overall.
No, yeah,
at this point of the season in the ACC, it really could not have worked out better for Louisville this season. And guys, I'm an ACC guy. I've been following this conference probably more than I should because it's kind of boring. But Louisville is not as good as their record. They're not as good as their public perception. They're good. I think they're more like a 20th ranked team, 25th ranked team, borderline ranked team. It's been very impressive with new coach and new QB this season plugging in. And they're already better than we all expected right away. But that doesn't mean that Louisville's winning this game on the road in a spot where they really haven't faced any adversity this season. And they're going to be facing a Miami team who's fucking pissed off coming off of back-to-back losses that are embarrassing against NC State. And then a Florida State game that they could have fucking won. Yeah. I'm with you. Is this Miami's last home game too?
Could be.
It is. So it's Van Dyke's last home game like you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Send off.
All right. Put on for your city, boys. Put on for your city. I mean, I know Louisville's up to -1. I don't give a shit, Javon. They opened up a pick'em. They opened up a coin flip. That's weird enough as an opener for me to just put my coins on Miami. But probably no rush to lock this one in because I'm only assuming the money's going to be coming in on Louisville, and that line's probably just going to slowly trickle, maybe up to like -2, maybe even -2.5 for Louisville. Yeah, so no rush.
Yeah, I don't really care what happens to the line. Yeah, I'll wait, but I don't think we're going to see much difference. And yes, it's like a weird sandwich game between a midweek game where they really should have lost against UVA, which in theory or on paper should have been a blowout spot going into that game. Then you have Kentucky, the big rivalry game next week. So in the middle of that, you're going on the road to Miami. It's a tough spot.
Any other weird-looking college football lines? Any other games you have circled? Any other teams that you're loving? Any players, any coaches you want to fade the living heck out of this week before we move on to NFL?
The last one that I was considering, which another one that I've kind of been looking forward to for a couple of weeks. I didn't know what the line would be because there's a lot of variability coming in the last couple of weeks, but Iowa State at home against Texas, sitting at 7.5, touchdown on the hook there. This is just I know you hate betting on this team because they've burned us a handful of times,
and maybe because they were literally betting against themselves last
that
season.
Too. Yeah, not this team though. Not this team.
You're right.
A lot of the guys are going.
Anything, this team, they've got eyes on, right? There's no way these kids are fucking fading themselves. They got fucking dudes probably looking over their shoulders like a hawk from the NCAA after last season, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Clean as a whistle. Good.
Yeah. And now at home night game in Jack Trice against Texas. This is, I mean, really anybody who played the Big 12 this year, you kind of see you're getting your best shot. And the only teams that Texas has really truthfully blown out are the teams that, are new to the Big 12. So they have nothing really there. Like Houston, really, they didn't blow them out. They beat them by 7, but they're dominating most of that game. BYU, kind of same story. I guess Baylor, Kansas was a weird situation because they had, no Jalen Daniels 5 minutes before the game. But a lot of these teams that, have been in there, they're giving Texas their all, which they do every year. But this is their last shot at them. And now this is Jack Trice at night in a home game where Iowa State's offense has been really a lot better the second half of the season. So you're not just relying on a defensive masterclass like you are year in, year out. So if Quinn Ewers makes mistakes against this team on the road, which he has been very prone to do really against anybody, talk about what he did at his low points in last week against TCU. this is a scary game for Texas, especially if this is really their last shot to fuck it up before the Big 12 championship, because I don't think they're losing at home to Texas Tech next week. So this is the spot that is everything for them.
And I'm in. I do hate betting on that team because they simply just don't respect coins. I wish I liked betting on them. I wish they returned the coins home, over the last 2 years when I had bet on them, but they just haven't, Javon. And they did fuck me a couple weeks ago. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there were sneak units on that, as you probably could have guessed, just by looking at that line. They fucked me. Again. I gave them a chance, and they absolutely destroyed my bankroll. I'm down to go back to them one more time, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be a happy dude the next day on BTL when we come on here and they fuck that up. I'm in.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I would have taken this anyways if you didn't bring it up because the line's nasty. So I'm in. I'm taking it. I'm just not going to be happy about it.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, I feel like Kansas was kind of the problem, or is kind of the problem, fading or taking them in whatever spot because they are so unpredictable. So it's not as much Iowa State. It's more Kansas being the Orioles.
Man.
Yeah, they're
Kansas,
difficult to figure out.
They suck. They suck. They're so fraudulent, man.
Yeah, but I think this is like a classic Iowa State home game that's like gross and low scoring and nasty. Like I don't know, 2017 type game that maybe they hang in, don't win, but Texas finds a way to escape.
That's what they're going to want. I'll tell you what, it definitely sketches me out with that Texas defense going against that young QB at Iowa State, but he's shown flashes.
Yes.
He's shown flashes. Okay. And got to bet the spreads, not the teams. And that's one you just have to do that. Somebody in chat asked earlier where the Sam Houston State jersey is, and I forgot until right now. It's coming. November 18th. On the way, tracking it right now. You guys probably can't see it, but it's en route, unfortunately for me. I was really hoping they were going to sell out or something, or maybe the guy going in the warehouse looking for that thing in the bottom of the bins in the back of the warehouse for a week probably was going to have to cancel on me when he couldn't find them, but he did. He found it. It's on the way. A game I have to talk about, JMU App State. Not saying the line is, that weird. Not saying I'm, dying to bet on App State here, Javon, but might not have a choice, down the stretch here with JMU still undefeated at this point. And I feel like they haven't gotten their flowers. I feel like people haven't talked about them enough. So maybe they're not public enough as an undefeated team for me to fade them yet. And they are good. I do believe in that program who's been dominant for the last 15 years since I have memories, even when they were D10. But App State, they're starting to gain some confidence. They just got a massive win on the road when I faded them last week against Georgia State, where they looked like the App State team from a year or two ago when they beat UNC. They looked much better. And this App State team had high expectations before the season. They flopped right off the rip, but they've won 3 games in a row. They're starting to get hot. And App State loves to make games weird in important spots or when they're playing big opponents. Couldn't think of a bigger opponent they're playing this season than the undefeated JMU Dukes. I think they keep that game within a touchdown. Not saying they win, but I wouldn't mind a little sprinkle on the ML for a half U, and I do think they keep that one within the number at JMU this week with game day there, guys. A lot of pressure on JMU. Everybody's already written off App State this season. Now they're playing with no pressure, and they're playing their best football of the season. Dangerous team.
Yeah, I mean, they just make games weird and close, and especially everything involved, not just game day, just the whole situation with, bowl eligibility looming too, because they're trying to get that approved. I think a decision's supposed to be coming in the next couple of days. It's just a weird game. And I feel like this is the trap game versus the obvious spot for them to be worried about it next week going on the road against Coastal. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a back and forth game, one possession game come the end of the game. So this would be a weird one. I'm in it.
Okay. If you were a player on JMU and you're 10-0, you're feeling pretty damn good about yourself, as you should. Right? You're undefeated. You're ranked. Everyone's talking about you. You got game day coming to freaking Harrisburg, Virginia, middle of fucking nowhere because your team's good. Pretty cool, right? But you got this weird stuff going on with that approval, which is supposed to go down this week, right, Javon? About how maybe they'll find a way to let them get bowl eligibility for maybe being the best, group of 5 team and sneak in a New Year's Six bowl, as they should, because if they end up being the best team, I don't give a fuck when they join D1. They deserve to be in there, in my opinion. I think anyone could agree with that. Why the fuck was that even a rule? But I'm kind of with espresso bets here, right? And I hate this covers you up, Javon, but I wanted to share this comment. Hear me out. JMU gets their bowl waiver approved on game day on Saturday, and then they immediately lose. Look, Javon, if I'm a player on that team right now, I'm pretty fat, happy, and complacent. I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe I'm not prepping as hard as I was before the game, week 1 of the season when we're 0-0. And I'm probably worried a little bit more about getting that waiver approved than I am about shitty App State this season. I think App State is going to go in there confident after 3 straight wins, and they're going to catch JMU sleeping when their head is focused on other shit.
Yeah, 100%. And to this guy's point, App State only does that when they're at home, I believe, other than the Michigan big win. That couldn't be further from the truth because they haven't lost by double digits, I think, all season. That's just what they do, especially when they're on the road. They just make these games weird when there you go. Haven't lost by double digits at all this season.
Espresso, that's snug.
Yeah, just pulling.
Espresso's coming with those nugs in those weird games.
Yeah, little Sunbelt action.
He's locked. All right. We're going to pivot to NFL, but I want to give the people a late night read on the college football slate this weekend. We just talked about all early games pretty much, Javon. There's got to be a late night geyser on Saturday night for college football with a weird line, a stinky line, or just a team you want to back or fade. There's got to be one.
Are we not late night and
I guess Iowa State would count.
And Iowa State
would count. And Oregon State would count. Which is at 7:30. Is that late night though?
No, that's the daytime over there, I guess. Yeah.
That's literally 30 over there, probably. And there's not even a lot of late games. There's 2 this week.
You know what I would be down to do for talking late night? Back Fresno this week against New Mexico. Minus 23.5 in a bounce back spot after they just got embarrassed in probably one of the most suspicious lines of the week or of the season against San Jose State.
Let's keep the San Jose State vibes rolling, Javon. Why not?
Yeah, W San Jose State. So, I would love to back Fresno. Injury stuff assumed that's right, and or fade San Jose State. But I would more like to back Fresno State.
I'm with you. Chad wants us to talk about West Virginia, Cincinnati. I'd probably lean Cincy, but I'm not in a rush to bet that game. West Virginia all over the place this season. They've looked good one day, and they've looked like the worst team in their conference the next day. So kind of out on them, and they look like new shit last week. Cincy coming off a nice outright win against Houston. Maybe they're a little square this week, but I'd probably lean the spread with the points with the Bearcats anyways.
Yeah, it's a weird game. I really don't want any part of that game, to be honest with you. Because to be honest with you, the way that these defenses are capable of playing when they're at their best, I'm probably a little surprised to see that total sitting at 54.5. So that tells me, in my head, this game is going to get really weird in like ways that you don't expect. So I might be on that over now that I've just first look at that total.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it might have to be, honestly. And let's pivot from that game because it sucks anyways. Let's talk about a couple NFLs. What's up?
Notre Dame, Wake Forest, Sam Hartman senior day against his old team. Ooh. It's not a weird line, but interesting game, interesting narrative.
That could be.
Huh. The Irish laying 24.5 at home against new shit Wake Forest, who's going to be looking to beat their pretty boy QB who left them, right? Wake Forest has had a really shitty season. They're still playing for a bowl game. It's not looking too hot. Their mathematical chances on paper, but they got 2 games left. They're 4-6. They are terrible. Might have to plug our nose here, Javon, and bet against Wake Forest, who probably hates Sam Hartman's guts after leaving them in the dust for Notre Dame. Right?
I think I'm good betting ATS that game, but I'll probably be on Sam Hartman squares or something like that. Because, senior day against Wake, storybook, they're going to let him throw the ball. They're not going to let it be like an Audric Estime game, even if they're up, 20 for a majority of the game. They're going to let him air it out. So give me whatever Sam Hartman's passing yards end up dropping at if they haven't already.
Okay, sure. Let's pivot to some NFL talk here. We've got Thursday Night Football tomorrow, Bengals-Ravens. That game's going to be weird. Surprised that total's moving up 2 points here, Javon?
No, I was saying when we were talking about Monday, that seemed to be the game that everybody was targeting to finally break the over curse, catching the falling knife, took the under, which, to be honest with you, was pretty lucky that it hit off the extra point bullshit. But
yes, it was.
This is the game that I was saying we're going to target finally stopping the curse here. So I will be on this over tomorrow, and I think we get points. I think this is kind of the perfect ending because it's also one of the, first games in a while we've had like 2 legitimate teams playing prime time. So, it makes sense to a degree, but I think this is the one.
Okay. I mean, but the last 3 times these teams have played, the games have soared over. Looks like when these two teams face off, we get points. Not surprised. I feel like whenever these teams play, we get like 7 Justin Tucker field goals and McPherson field goals too. So might not be a bad day to target the feet on Prize Picks as well. But let's move and talk about some of these other games going on this weekend. I mean, Javon, the Commanders are laying 10, which should probably be talked about for a second. I would like your initial thoughts on that.
Fat line, especially considering GG Goots.
Goots is out of here. That's okay.
Well,
I'll change the background. Keep talking.
We'll be all right. But yeah, there's a couple of like big lines I would say that are a little strange, and the Commanders is certainly one of them. Especially after how disgusting and low scoring that game was, and how Sam Howell was not fantastic in that first game. So seeing 9.5, 10 is insane. So, I mean, give me the commies. I know it's Tommy DeVito, whatever. You're going to give him a little bit of respect. Give the Commanders a little bit of respect on the line because of that. But I will gladly take a stab at the Commanders.
There's just one problem, Javon.
What's
Ron Rivera is the coach of the Commanders. And he's going to find a way to fuck this game up from a game management standpoint and probably keep it within 10. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how it's going to be done at all because this team stinks and they got, chicken cutlets DeVito in there who's going home and his mommy's patting him on his back and making his bed for him and cutting up his dinner for him. And the kid is literally in here just to tank. I don't know how the Giants haven't gotten in trouble for this. It could not be more clear. I don't think I've ever seen a team tank more than the Giants the last couple of weeks. It's been embarrassing. They've got DeVito out there for no reason. They got better options out there on the market than DeVito.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing, man? Carson Wentz was on the market until a week ago. You're telling me they don't want to pick him up? They're picking DeVito? Looks like they're tanking for a QB in my eyes, Javon. I do like the Manders. I do think the spread is fat, but I know in the back of my mind, I've seen this movie before, and Ron Rivera will find a way to fuck this game up. He will. Just like he's done pretty much every game this season and pretty much every game for the last 4 seasons.
Fair enough. Well,
that spread is ginormous, though. Give me
leave it at that. Get the other blowout that I probably feel a little bit better about. It's not like a sharp line, not really a weird line, but the 49ers are going to do disgusting things to the Bucs. I don't think that game is going to be close for a second. I mean, they're laying, 12.5, 12 you have up here. That's going to be absolutely disgusting. I think they dominate them more than they dominated the Jags when we saw that in person this weekend. I mean, Baker Mayfield.
That's impossible.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield against that D-line. The only times he has been successful in this offense is when he's facing either a bad secondary, which he did last week against the Titans, or he's facing absolutely no pressure. So he's allowed to sit back there and then eventually dump it off to Rachaad White, who's now Jerry Rice. So now he's going to have pressure in his face 24/7. I am interested to see, though, a little Nick Bosa, Chase Young against Tristan Wirfs. That'll be awesome. But whoever's on the other side is going to get absolutely destroyed. So he's going to have guys in his face against a good secondary, really good linebackers too, who are going to do everything in the pass game and the run game. They might not score. So this game could easily be 41-3.
Sheesh. Lay it with the 49ers. They win that game big. Bucs are big ship. I mean, yeah, that's a 6-3 team versus a 4-5 team laying 12. You don't see that every day. But that's a fraudulent 4-5 team. Sorry, Javon. And that is a much better 6-3 team than that Jets with their record.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers last week, Javon, if they can do half of that against the Bucs, I still think they're going to cover that game.
Dude, they can do half of that, man. They could do half of that and still win by 30.
I mean, they took the life out of that stadium. I don't think I heard a Jags fan open their mouth. They went Ron Rivera, Sleepy Ron, silent mode with their arms crossed in the crowd.
I don't know if they took the life out of that stadium because the stadium was half their fans. I mean, it took the life out of the Jags fans.
Yeah. No, I mean, I might just start standing like this and doing nothing and see how long I can get away with it for. You think I get away with that for 4 years, Siobhan, if I just show up to BTL like this and just fucking do nothing all day?
That would be hilarious.
What do you think?
Yeah.
No, that place was packed with 49ers fans. Very good points. Surprised they traveled that well, but I guess there's a lot of 49ers fans down there in Florida. I don't know.
They're also good.
Yeah, they're good. So they're traveling. They're going to the games. That's a good point. But yeah, that stadium, I will say, though, a little bit better than I expected. People made it seem like it was worse than FedEx Fields. I don't know if it was worse than FedEx Fields.
Well,
I'd say maybe
They did
Nothing
renovate
for
it a couple
FedEx
years ago.
Field.
they
Nothing.
renovated it a couple years ago, Javon. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's when like all
Okay.
the pools and shit got put in. So it was all
Yeah.
new. It was pretty ass the handful of years before then.
Okay. Yeah, people forget they got pools up there on
People
the
do
top
forget.
sector. And they had that giant scoreboard, which is maybe the
scoreboards
biggest
are dope.
screen I've ever seen in my life. That was
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah, I was impressed. They had a lot of, different food options and a bunch of different shit to do at the games. It was not very bland. Sometimes you walk into a cool stadium like in Atlanta, the Falcon Stadium, and there's just fucking nothing inside. There's nothing in there. It's so simple. They spent all their money building that puppy, I guess. Kind of the opposite for Jacksonville, bare bones stadium, but honestly pretty dope. And they filled that puppy up with a lot of cool activities, and I had a damn good time.
They have to.
Yeah.
There's nothing else around it. It's literally
It's true.
in a everything by itself because the city sucks and everything around it sucks. You got to make something inside the stadium worth going to.
Okay. They're trying to rebuild it again, but the people of Jacksonville don't want to pay for it. Okay.
I mean,
Interesting. We'll see. I think we need a new stadium in D.C. first before we get a new stadium down there in Jacksonville. Non-biased opinion, of course. Any other NFL games, Javon, that are looking at you funny that you want to let the people know about? Maybe Browns still being a favorite against the Steelers with no Deshaun. That's looking at me funny. What about you?
Yeah, especially because it's not PJ Walker. It's looking like it's DTR, which is, I mean, I don't know the rationale behind that one, but that
must be looking better in practice.
I guess so, because I really don't know. Honestly, him looking good in the preseason was the downfall of this team, because if he looked like garbage, he would have been gone instead of Josh Dobbs, and this would be a whole different conversation right now. But yeah, them still being a favorite is a bit strange. I know the Steelers aren't at home, which has been the more profitable, part to take them. Tomlin at home, even Tomlin as a dog at home has been super profitable. But, I mean, they're still favorites with a 33.5 total, which is funny in itself. So if it stays there, I'll probably have to be on the Browns.
Yep. If they stay a favorite, if they close a favorite, I'm going to have to be on the Browns for responsible units. Not going to have a choice. That's just a nasty contrarian bet you have to take. Okay. Nothing else really sticking out to me much. I do like the Rams coming off a bye with them getting healthy. I know that's not the sharpest angle maybe there with Stafford and McVay coming off a bye. We know they're very successful and people like backing them. But they also kind of stink. And Seattle's been on fire, and I think they're one of the most fraudulent 6-3 teams in the NFL. Oh, they just beat the Manners by 3. Nice. No, you just beat our shitty coaches by 3. You didn't beat shit.
Yeah. So I'm down. I'm down for that. I also am definitely down to bet on the Bills this week, which that kind of goes for itself. It looks like he is frozen into obliteration. DTR just confirmed for sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought was going.
Tens?
Yeah, you're back now.
I just got fucking thrown into a vortex.
Yeah, you got cooked. Sent them.
Give me the Bills -7. I'm in.
Yep. Gladly.
I like it. Let's talk about some games for today. Some CBV games. You down?
Yep.
Go. You got the Hokies on your cards. Huh.
I do have the Hokies on my card.
What do you like about the Hokies tonight?
I mean, first of all, I really like the spot off of that super disappointing game. Where was that, in Charlotte against South Carolina?
Yeah, it was in Charlotte against South Carolina where they couldn't miss a shots, and we played like dog shit. Yep. Yeah,
they were bad. And now they're playing a Campbell team who, I mean, they're really small. Like their center that they're going to start tonight is 6'6", and it's not that VT has Justin Mutz, who's just going to be able to do everything for that team anymore, inside and out, and just overpower everybody. But I think Lynn Kidd's been good enough for me to believe they're going to have a sizable advantage inside, which he's actually been one of the most efficient guys in the ACC this year, believe it or not. I was looking at some of the tweets that popped up between him and a couple of the.
Didn't miss a shot in his first 2 games.
Yeah, he's been absolutely incredible. So he's getting good looks at the rim. So if they're generating those against a very small team, or even if they bring out one of the 2 guys that are a little bigger off the bench, they suck. So like this is going to be a very rare, I think, call for a Lynn Kidd game for me, or Poteet if they bring him off the bench, even though he's kind of moose too. So I like that. I also love, I'm looking at the line go from 17 to 21.5 after losing outright in a game that they pretty easily should have won against South Carolina if they played any sort of defense. And for a majority of that game. So I like the spot for them. I also think Campbell can't really run with them. Their offense is not dynamic enough to score with them. So again, if they're running in transition, a lot of pick and roll too, they are going to outscore them. They won't be able to catch up. So this game reminds me a lot of Baylor last night, just the spot of them being disappointing for, I guess Baylor's disappointing for 2 straight games. They came against a team that I had a little bit of respect for. I thought the line was fat. They dominated that game, made a lot of shots. Feels similar. Are you taking the Hokies today?
I'm in on the Hokies. I'm in on that angle. It's a bounce back spot for them. Absolutely embarrassing. You cannot be losing to the Gamecocks and that college basketball new shit team and program. They got lucky. They did not miss a shot from deep. I mean, I watched the whole game. It was fucking bullshit. But we also played like crap besides Padula, who fucking balled. But Couture got hurt in that game. He was off. And I mean, that's a combo for another time with Couture. But Padula still balled. Lane Kidd has been a machine this year, Javon. And with Padula coming off a 30-burg or 27-burg, a career high, I have a feeling in my gut they're going to be going to Lane Kidd in the paint, who's been extremely efficient and successful this year. But he didn't really play much or do much in the last game for some reason when they lost. They used Poteet a bunch in that game. Maybe they just wanted to put the behemoth Poteet, who's probably like twice as thick, in that game because they were so tiny, South Carolina was, but it didn't work. I think we need to keep our guy Lynn Kidd out there, who's clearly our best big man in center, who can finish and get rebounds. And I think Mike Young will learn from his mistakes he made in that South Carolina game and play Lynn Kidd more instead of Poteet. And I think the Hokies will roll. We know they're not going to keep their foot off the gas at all at any point in this game after losing to South Carolina in their last one. No chance. They cover this game.
Yeah, I like them. I think, too, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the times I see VT playing against a team that really just has one main scorer. They do pretty well between, like, Couture and Padula, whoever's on them, shutting them down. Is that
– Yeah, Couture's one of the best guard defenders in CBB. Padula doesn't cover shit, but on a double team they could. But Couture is one of the best defenders in the ACC as a guard, for sure.
Yes, so they stick him on Anthony DeLorso, who is literally everything for Campbell. I don't know who's scoring for them.
Yeah, and if you're telling me their center is actually 6'6", I don't see a world where Lynn and Poteet don't get theirs, and we don't win this game by 30. Straight up.
They have a guy that they bring off, 2 guys that probably like combined like 15 to 20 minutes per game. They bring off the bench. They're like 6'8", 6'10", but they are garbage. So like the guy that they mainly play for 25-30 is legit 6'6".
Okay. Yeah, well, either way, I mean, they might not have a choice. They might have to put in some of those bigger guys, and if they do, they probably suck if they're not even starting their 6'10" against a fucking 6'6" dude in the paint. So not worried about it at all. Let me tell you about an underdog I like today. I like your VT laying a bunch of points at home in a bounce back spot. I'm in on that. Let me tell you about an underdog, though. Very, very close to Blacksburg, Javon. We don't have to go far here. Give me Radford and the Highlanders getting 4.5 points here. They opened up a 5.5-point dog against VCU, who, in my opinion, looks depleted and they look off. We know this VCU team. They're a second half of the season team. They are every single fucking year. Right now, they're trying to figure out how to put together a team with all their departures from last season. And Radford looks pretty solid this year. They're coming off a nice win outright against Marshall in their last contest. They were almost beating UNC at half in the game before that. And they opened the season, I think, with a win against an absolute new shit team. So I'm not even going to talk about that. But they're 2-1 this year. Radford has taken a step up in their new coach's third season, who I like, Darius Nichols, who's turning that program around a little bit. And they've got 2 stud scorers, DeQuan Smith, the kid who came over from Murray State, who's averaging over 10 points a game this season. And they've got Brian Antone, the kid who transferred from fucking Villanova, who I talked about last year. He's finally playing good basketball, and he's finally getting play time on this team, averaging over 10 points a game this season as well. I like what I'm seeing out of the Radford Highlanders guards. And against VCU, that's really all that matters. This team is small. They win with guards. And right now, they don't win with shit. They look off until the second half of the season. Fade VCU. The splits look good. It's the Highlanders and the points on the roads. This game's going to go down to the last possession.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think if they're going to win with their guard play, Max Shulga, who's coming over from Utah State, I don't know why they've been putting him on like the best guard on every team for the first 2 games of the season. He's literally barbecue chicken. So like if they're just going to put him in every single set offensively, and that's probably a pretty good recipe for success for Radford. So I hate that one bit.
Radford's got 2 pretty nice guards. I mean, this Antone kid, he's got some experience from Villanova, didn't play much there, was like a 5-star recruit. I remember I talked about him last year on BTL, but never really did much last season, was better, but this is his year. In his redshirt senior year, averaging over 10 points a game. He's getting plenty of minutes starting at the shooting guard position. Watch out for Antoine tonight, guys, if you're betting on this team. This is the best game of the night, in my opinion, Radford VCU. It's going to be fucking electric. I'm stoked with this one.
Yeah.
What else you got in CBB?
Talk to me about Duquesne, because I think we're at odds on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm in on this Duquesne team. You don't like them in the spot today?
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I'm 100% with you, wagon status, period, because they look fantastic. But I don't know about today. But tell me why you're on today.
I'm on Duquesne today because they're playing a fucking Princeton team who lost all their guys. They lost their best player, average over 16 points a game last year. Princeton coming off of 2 outright wins as dogs where they have impressed. And I want to fade a Princeton team who we know and love from the tournament in recent years. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that they're getting 6 points in this spot to a Duquesne team and program that's never really been good. But this season they are, and I love what I'm seeing out of the Dukes and Day Grant and their new big man, the 2 brothers coming over there, the Drame Bros. This team is complete, and they fucking strap up too. I mean, they looked unbelievable against College of Charleston. If they can look that good against the Cougs, I'm not worried about them playing Princeton coming off of 2 outright wins as a dog. I mean, how long can the Cinderella story continue for Princeton is what I'm trying to say.
It's fair. It's fair. I think last for a couple more games, in my opinion. I do think the line is a little fat. I know what I'm going into here with the +5.5, the +6. But I've kind of been really impressed with them this year. Not that we're just seeing the same team from last year, but I think defensively, it looks like they've taken a little bit of a step forward. I was shocked, not only that they went into the rack and won that game against a pretty mushy Rutgers team, but a physical Rutgers team. And they kind of hung with them there, which was surprising to me. And in this game, to be honest with you, I mean, the way that we saw this Princeton team defend and as explosive as this Duquesne offense looks to begin the season, does 144 not seem a little low to you in this game?
Definitely seems a little low, and it's dropped 2 points from the opener. Don't disagree there.
Yes, I mean, that's a little surprising to me. So I'm kind of buying a little bit more into not that we're seeing this Princeton team from last year, but we're seeing an improved team on the defensive end. So, like, I don't think they're going to strap down, both the Duquesne guards because they are just that good. But I think you're going to hang with them a little bit. And I think they're going to be physical on the boards too. And yes, slow the game down, which I think is going to keep Duquesne kind of out of their comfort zone offensively. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little Duquesne like 3-point win. They eke this one out, but I think Princeton's going to keep it close.
Who's the kid on Princeton who's been tweaking? Who's the kid who was tweaking last year in the tourney and he's been on fire this year? Is it Aloko?
Aloko, yeah. He's a bucket.
I mean, yeah, he is a bucket. Don't get me wrong. But Duquesne's got a kid's Jimmy Clark, who's a fucking strap and a half. He was on the first team all defense last year in conference. They're going to stick him on him, and they're going to go about their day.
Well, let me introduce you to Xavier Lee, who has taken a massive step forward this season too. So now they have not only one guy who's going to strap up. I mean, they got a couple, but he is one of the most electric scorers, I would say, in the Ivy League too. And he's young and only getting better and in a bigger role now this season. So I think they have the guys offensively.
Interesting. Xavier Lee. Okay. He's averaging 15 points per game. He's only played, I guess they've only played 2 games this season. But yeah, he dropped a 16 Berg and a 14 Berg against Rutgers and Hofstra. Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
I will say. Pretty
and
impressive.
yes, this too surprised me. And yes, the game was not at the rack, misspoke, neutral site. But Caden Pierce, I again, that's another thing of that game that I was super surprised by. Like Cliff was a no-show. I thought he would feast in that matchup, but a couple of the guys there, like Caden Pierce looked like a dominant big against not only Cliff, but like a couple of really physical big men there. So if he is enforcing this will, like I don't know who on this Duquesne team, like they're not just going to go and feed him in the post or anything, but defensively, I don't know if they're getting in the paint against Caden Pierce the way that he's playing right now. So I am not so sure of how they're going to match up today. Which is why I kind of like Princeton.
If Caden Pierce turns into Shaq again, so be it. I'll charge to the game. But I mean, he's going against a team who all their depth is a bunch of fucking ginormous foreign forwards, this Duquesne team. These guys are 6'10", 6'7", 6'9", 6'8", all these guys. The first 5 dudes coming off their fucking bench, they start 3 guards. The next 5 dudes coming off the bench, if they even go that deep at all, are all forwards. They're all big-ass dudes. This Duquesne team is massive. They're huge. I think they'll shut down Princeton in the paint, no issue. Am I a little bit worried about Princeton playing slow as shit and getting Day Grant and Duquesne out of their rhythm? Yes, I agree with you on that 1,000%. But I will charge to the game if Caden Pierce plays like Shaq again.
Yeah. Well, you know what did worry me a little bit. I mean, not worry me because I guess I'm on Princeton here, but talking about Caden Pierce, the one time this season that they've played a team, which they dominated the game, obviously, but it wasn't because of this, was Ante Brzovic for Charleston. It's like the first time they played like a big who's going to space the floor like Caden Pierce does, and he didn't even play. He played 24 minutes. He had 13 and 10. And he's not like a dominant guy on the boards. So like if Caden Pierce is playing like that, he might have. I mean, he had 26 and 15, I think, last game. We might get a repeat performance of that. Doesn't mean they win because of that, but I love that matchup inside today.
Okay. Looks like Princeton is 92 in the KenPom. Let's see where Duquesne's at. 77. Some serious respect from Ken.
No, they're good.
Dukes.
They're good. I'm definitely not arguing that.
I love their coach, dudes. He reminds me a little bit of, I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name, the College of Charleston coach, who's just a little ball of energy. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? The little bald dude who was fucking electric last year and would go out there and play with the guys and run laps with them. Why am I forgetting the Charleston name? Somebody in chat remind me. It's going to drive me nuts.
It's Pat Keasley, I think.
Pat Kelsey. Pat Kelsey. Yeah, he's a fucking dog.
Same
dude,
shit.
I like everything about this Duquesne team. I really do. But you're sketching me out. I'm not going to lie. You are. You're sketching me out down there.
It's fair.
See how it plays out. You're going to put your hard-earned money on Princeton.
Yeah, one you.
Don't you feel like it looks too easy?
It looks a little easy. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I'm willing to go against that a little bit in this game. Especially seeing that total. Because to be honest with you, I would be really scared about Princeton's defense holding up if this was just going to be a track meet game with those 2 guards, obviously for Duquesne, but that total going down from 146.5 to 144 is making me think that it's going to be a little more defensive of a game than like it would seem on paper.
Yeah. Or at least Princeton slowing the fucking game down a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, Duquesne and Day, they want to run, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Sketch. T. Higgins is out tomorrow. Okay. Interesting. I want to see where the splits are for this total. Looks like the over is public and a little sharp. Almost 60% of bets, almost 75% of handle on that over. So big bets coming in on that over. Interesting. You're telling me more than 59% of bets and handle are coming in on that over and the totals moved down 2 points, Javon? Maybe you're right. Fuck. Oh.
Yeah, that under could be an interesting play. I mean, I don't know. I will like Princeton's been, I believe, an under machine to start the year. I don't know how that Hofstra game ended on the total, but I'm pretty sure it went under. I mean, they've been playing a couple of teams that like you can play their game, like against
they're
Hofstra.
under.
Yeah, I mean, Hofstra and Rutgers are going to play like a Princeton tempo type game, I guess. So it's pretty conducive to unders. So I guess it's just strength for strength here.
Yeah. And with the total moving down and it already being low, definitely sketching me out. Although we probably can't expect, Duquesne to be putting up 180 points, 190 points in every game they play this season. That would be
yeah, definitely not.
That would be ridiculous. And there's some regression coming there. So we know the total's gonna be a little low, unless Day Grant wants to keep putting up 30 burgs, but we'll see. Talk about Nicholls State, the new wagon. Leach wants to know. You like Nicholls today?
I don't know that I do. That's a really weird, tough spot to back them. And if we're talking about like the teams in the Southland that have really impressed me, like a McNeese or even like maybe a Corpus Christi, like Nicholls great win because that's something that, like we were talking about with McNeese, people can rarely do in the Southland, but that LSU team is not very good. It's like much respect to them for that. But I don't know. This feels like a super weird spot going on the road to Denver where this line is ever so slightly dropping after, getting up to 3, 2.5. It's going back down now. I don't know if this is the spot for Nichols. I mean,
I don't know if it is either.
After going on the road and beating LSU outright, now you're facing a Denver team who, I mean, they're quite literally going to play a Nicholls State game. This is probably not a bad overplay, too. This is going to be a track meet. This is strange. It's also a track meet in Denver, which a lot of the Southland teams just in general, when they go to elevation, do not perform very well because they don't like to play that game in elevation. It doesn't usually work out very well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have the gas to hang up in this one.
Okay. All right, chat. Looks like you guys want to know about the Hoyas. Well, I'm no rocket scientist, but I'm pretty sure Javon has the Hoyas on his card today.
I do have the Hoyas on my card. I do have the Hoyas.
What do you like about Ed Cooley and the boys bouncing back after a hilarious loss?
Yeah, I mean, very obviously, we know the spot coming into this game off the hilarious loss to Holy Cross, and now they're going to Rutgers, which is a really strange spot, I guess, to be there. But I'm taking them, especially because I haven't seen anything from Rutgers offensively that tells me that, they can hold up and really establish a big lead over really anyone. And it's not just because they haven't been efficient or just because they play at a super slow tempo, but they're still figuring out a lot of the pieces with their offense when it comes to I think Hyatt has had a bigger role in this offense than probably they want because the guards like Noah Fernandez has been a no-show for a couple of these games. They've mixed around who's starting at point guard for a couple of these games because they really can't find anything that works. There's just nothing consistent about this offense right now. It's not just that they're not, explosive or not bad or not good because they are bad. So I haven't seen anything enough to tell me that they're going to dominate a team from tip to finish. And I'll be willing to put money on it to find out because I think Georgetown defensively can kind of hang in there with Rutgers. And this is just going to be a super ugly game, just like everything that Rutgers tends to play. So in a gross little bounce back spot here, I would love to back the Hoyas to just hang in.
And I like the under in this game, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the Hoyas.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams, I think, have hit every under so far this season. At least Rutgers has 3-0 to the under. Georgetown did have an over in there in the Lemoyne game because they scored so many points and won by so many. Okay, nice. But besides that, these teams have been under Central, and the total is down 3 points from the opener, and the splits are pretty fucking sharp to this under. 45% of bets, 84% of handle. Holy smokes, no wonder why this total is moving down. Not really surprised. It makes a whole lot of sense. Rutgers has looked like rat meat to start the season, and Georgetown can play a little bit of defense in a bounce-back spot. They're going to keep this game close on the roads and probably keep it within 10 with this game going under. I'm with you. I just think I like the total a little bit more.
No, I mean, it's going to be gross. I'm right there with you. I think this is going to be a low 60s type game at the most.
Okay. Real Nicky Gambles. Are you going to the Loyola game tonight? You've asked about it 100 times. So you're either going to the game, you're an alumni, or you are nastier than me. Either way, I tip my cap to all three of those options. I don't really have a read on Loyola Maryland versus Binghamton. I'll be honest with you, my man. I have not been staying up all morning capping this game out of all the games. But I will tell you this. Loyola Maryland, the Greyhounds. By the way, I've been in this arena. I've been to plenty of games in this stadium in Baltimore. Grew up actually going to these games against the Mount every year. They play the Mount every season. Different conferences, rivalry game, electric. But Loyola's been on fire in this series between Binghamton, who they play every year also. Loyola is coming off an outright win against Brown. And they also covered against Florida the week before that to open up their season, Javon, but they did lose that game. Binghamton, on the other hand, I mean, they're getting their fucking shit rocked in every game they've played in so far this year, pretty much. It's probably Binghamton with the points. I don't know why they're only getting 2.5 after Loyola's coming off an outright win as a +10 dog, but I'm not going to be betting him, my man. I'm not. Okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that game.
Okay. Grabs. I know you guys are talking about CBB, but my Vols getting destroyed by Georgia on Sunday. Josh is saying. That's a good question, Joshy. Are your Vols getting destroyed by Georgia? Probably. What do you think, Javon?
Yeah, I mean, probably. It's kind of hard to put coin on Georgia after them destroying Ole Miss last week. Now they're going to Rocky Top, it seems like, or I don't know how the draft team sets up the games, but yeah, I thought it was in Rocky Top. Yeah, clamps. I will definitely have some Joe Milton less than squares out this weekend.
You've got a request from your buddy. Javon, can you please fade Stroud again this week?
It's like worked more than it hasn't worked. I don't really understand that. I've gone like 3-1 fading the guy. The first loss that I've taken on a actual bet was last week, and that was a lot because
I need to see that old QB you like who's on Twitter who does his QB rankings every week. He just dropped his new ones. I forget his name, but yeah, Kyle Burke something. What's his name again?
Kurt Bankert.
Yeah. Goods, can you find Kurt Bankert's QB rankings for this week? I think he dropped them today. I want Javon to see who's ranked number 1.
It's true.
I'm not telling you shit. We'll get it pulled up. Any other CBB games for tonight that we like, folks? Any other CBB action?
Don't think we have too much. I definitely debated laying it with Texas, and I honestly might get to the counter with that. The minus 20.5 at home. I just think Rice does not have the shooters to keep up with them. They're not athletic enough. Like Dylan Mitchell, as much as he if Texas is going to win by a lot, Dylan Mitchell's not going to be the guy, but nobody can match up with him. So I think he's going to be a lob threat the entire game. It's just going to be really tough matchups across the board for Rice. So I'm not sure 100% if I'm there yet, but I definitely like Texas in the spot.
Okay.
It's also that BYU situation's weird too.
Gates, I'm going to find the tweet. And pull it up or send it to you while Javon talks about Boston College and Richmond today. BC's up to 4.5, Javon, on the hardwood against the Spiders, who don't have Burton anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty gross game. I kind of like this under, which has gotten steamed down a little bit. I don't know if I want to get there laying it with Boston College because this game is going to be shrunk into the half court, which really doesn't work for either of these teams. And I think they're good enough defensively to kind of hang in and muck it up and make it a gross game. So it's probably the under, if anything, for me. But I do think the one place that Boston College is going to dominate is with Quentin Post, my GOAT. So I will gladly – I don't know if he's on Prize Picks, but if he is, that's where I'm going today. He is on Prize Picks, 15.5 points. That's hitting.
Damn. All right. Whoa, that was quick, Goots. Good work there. Javon, do me a favor. My vision's not too good. Who's number 1 on that list? Just start ripping down the names.
That would be CJ Stroud. I should ask you, who's number 2 on that list?
That'd be Jalen Hurts, number 2. Nobody wants to be number 2, though. Last year, he would have been number 1. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Tua. The reason I'm reading these is because I want to get to number 10 because I already know what it is. 7, Brock Purdy. 8, Joe Burrow. 9, Russell Wilson. Yes. 10, Sam Howell. I guess this guy does know ball. Sure. Sam Howell should be in every top 10 rankings if you've just watched him play football this season and seen his progression. I mean, he's looked like a top 5 QB the last month. He's been fucking unbelievable. Looks like Kurt knows ball. TBD on if he knows ball about CJ Stroud, because the book might be out on him still.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that list. Not even because of Stroud. Not because of Stroud. I see Lamar at 4. That's a tough.
Pick it apart. What do you not like about it?
Excuse me?
I mean, the Ravens you can put up as a squad, but to say Lamar has been fantastic it's not really like he's been terrible. It's just like he hasn't had to do anything. It's like the performance of the Ravens have had is not on him. Putting him at 4 is crazy.
Well, who on this list would you put ahead of him?
Dak. Gladly. I would put Dak ahead of him right now.
I think with his play recently, Dak should be probably number 2.
Yeah, regardless of you like him or hate him, if the roles were switched, if the stat lines were switched, if the matchups were switched, people would be putting Lamar in MVP conversations right now. because Dak has been playing that good.
He was in those conversations after the Seahawks and Lions games, and then I don't know.
Who, Lamar?
Yeah, again, well,
Lamar was playing great in the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, and he's just kind of wavered off just a little bit, Goots. He's not playing bad.
It's
He just hasn't looked as sharp.
The Ravens' run game has been carrying them, so like he hasn't done much. It's not
Yeah.
really
No,
like he hasn't been great, but he hasn't had like the opportunity.
Yeah, we talked about
great
this
because he hasn't
yesterday
needed it.
with the QB rankings because it's just been the run game. It hasn't been nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
It's facts.
pretty much.
But I expect a big game from him tomorrow night.
I do.
Gonna need it.
I do
We'll
too.
be seeing. We'll be seeing.
Goots on ground.
Yeah, Goots on ground.
Not boots on ground. Goots on ground.
Goots on ground.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
That's facts. Where's
yeah.
Jameis, man? Where's Jameis? He should be number one just because of that touchdown pass alone.
Where is Jameis and where is Josh Dobbs?
I've seen a lot of Jameis, just Jameis plays. That touchdown was so Jameis that it was hilarious. Across, did you see that? It's like rolling all the way to the left, just throws an absolute dart to the opposite end zone. So funny.
He's always had the talent. The talent's never been an issue. It's that he couldn't see, or he couldn't make the right decision, or he's too busy licking his fingers, doing weird shit, stealing lobsters and stuff. Who fucking knows? Jameis Winston he's like the Manny Ramirez of NFL, but just worse. You know, he's just a man of mystery, is what he is. Yeah, here it is.
Funny.
I'm sure the coaches were going, no, yes. As soon as he fucking called it in the end zone. They're going, oh no, what are you doing, Jameis? And touchdown, let's fucking go.
It's just so classic, dude. It's like
that is a Jameis tutty right there. Let's just go scramble out to the left and then fire across my body all the way to the right in double coverage for a touchdown. Sure.
Dude, there's a couple Jameis plays that are just in the hall. It's like that one. There's the one where he got sacked for like positive yards pretty much the one time with the game on the line. There's a lot of them, man. That was absolutely so funny.
Tyrod Taylor did not beat Sam Howell. Tyrod Taylor beat Ron Rivera because we only ran the ball that game. Tyrod Taylor over Sam Howell, sure, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, we could play that game with a lot of quarterbacks. The guy everybody hates, Russ. He's playing better recently. He beat Mahomes handily. If we want to play that game,
yeah, Russ should probably be on that list with how he's been playing.
He was on the list.
He was on that list.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. He should be. He's got over 100 QBR. He's looked significantly better this season. He might not be running the ball or throwing deep passes like he was on Seattle, but he's starting to win games, getting more comfortable, and his stats look much, much, much better from last season. Don't sleep on Russ.
Yeah, there
Don't
he
let
is.
him get hot. Oh, well, you flip-flop him with 10, and then we're talking, but I'm in on that list. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Russ is averaging 3 yards per throw. Well, 3 yards per throw gets you a win against the Chiefs and a win against the Bills back-to-back. So I guess 3 yards per throw is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. I don't know if that touchdown to Sutton was 3 yards. That looked a little longer than that. That was one of the best.
That was one of the best touchdowns I've ever seen all year, as me and Javon say the same thing. Yep.
Best throw, best catch, best everything.
Dubs, chat, somebody in here was being a freak and brought up Merrimack against Ohio State. Please don't bet Merrimack today against Ohio State. Okay, I know we talked about Merrimack last year. Jordan Minor's gone, and Ohio State's coming off an embarrassing loss. Do not bet on Merrimack. They are that bad. Okay. Delaware State is an interesting game. I didn't think those words were coming out of my mouth today, but
that's
Delaware
a crazy
State,
sentence. That's a crazy
For
sentence.
some reason, Javon, Delaware State is a fucking covering machine against Delaware. I don't know what it is. They just have their number, man. The last 4 years they've played them, they've either won outright or covered. And Delaware lost a ton of their guys. They lost Nelson to TCU, right? Their star point guard is a beast. And a bunch of pieces as well. Delaware is 3-0 this year, but they played Air Force, they played Bucknell, and they played a made-up team who I don't even know who that school is. Delaware are very fraudulent. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Delaware State pull off another upset or at least cover this game, because for some reason, whenever they play Delaware, that's what they do. And that spread is ridiculously short. Typically in recent years, Javon, they're getting like 17 to 20 points. This year, they're getting 9.5, 10. Don't sleep on Delaware State.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll tip my cap to you on that one. I'll let you have it.
Sure. You're not going to tail that one for 5 units?
I might tail it. I'm just saying I got nothing to add there on Delaware State.
Yeah. Look at those splits, Krabs. Let's see what those splits are telling me, my man. They're telling me that Delaware State is a good play. That's what they're telling me. Delaware's getting nuked. 80% of bets, 90% of handle on the spread. I mean, yeah, they're playing Delaware State. They're playing one of the worst teams in, D1. But not tonight. Delaware State keeps that one within 10. All right, Javon, any MACtion from you today? 2 electric games on the gridiron.
2 electric games. No, nothing for me in MACtion. I don't know if you got anything.
Lean Buffalo, Lean Ohio. You guys are probably surprised to hear that, but Lean Rourke and Ohio, I think that offense is too much for Central Michigan to overcome, and I love that total being that high for a MAC game this season. I know back in my day, chat, MAC games were high scoring. There was turnovers. There was return field goals for touchdowns. There was higher totals and more points. But in recent years, there's been no fucking points. But in this spot, you're getting a high total. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get an offensive masterclass from Ohio. We know they're more than capable of that. Like the over in that game on the gridiron, and I lean Ohio, sure. And then I like Buffalo getting 7.5 down from 9 today. A lot of steam, a lot of movement just today on this game against Ohio, who has a great defense. I don't mind that under either in that game, down from 43.5 to 38.5. But I wouldn't be laying it with Miami of Ohio in this spot, who's been very good, one of the best teams in the MAC, if not the best team in the MAC this season. We know how the MAC works, though, Javon. Just when you think a team is a lock to be the best team in the MAC or solidify themselves as the number 1 seed, they fucking lose outright or some crazy MAC shit happens, right? So don't sleep on Buffalo, who's been getting destroyed in their last couple of games. Buffalo's defense is good enough where I think they'll be able to keep this game close against a Miami team who only wins with defense. Their offense is nothing special. They won their last game 19-0 against Akron. That's how Miami of Ohio wins. Kind of how Buffalo plays too. It's similar styles. I think the Buffs keep this one within a touchdown by the plus 7.5.
I can get down with that. Can definitely get down
with that. Delaware State got a lot better last year. They've been building a little something the past couple of years. Well, they couldn't get worse. I'm in real Nicky gambles. Don't sleep on Delaware State. Okay. Dubs, Javon, any prize big squares, any hockey plays or NBA plays you want to let the people know about?
For the ice, I'm on the Flyers plus 1.5 today. I think this is which I don't know why it's getting steamed down really. I guess I don't know. There hasn't been any new announcements other than just normal goalies, but it's gotten a little juicy. Minus 135 now, down about 10 cents, but I don't really care. I'm taking it anyway. This is a defensive battle, which I believe last time they played, it was 3-2. I could very easily see the same exact thing happening in this game. I think it's going to be a pretty tight defensive game. The Canes and Kochetkov, who they're coming off of a shutout of the Lightning where they only put 22 shots on them. Canes, really good defense. Lightning have absolutely 50 different problems going on with them right now, but do love the fade goalies off of a shutout and back-to-back starts here. So the Flyers, I think, come out, show a little bit of buzz early. Carter Hart's in net, and he's back healthy. And I don't know if he was sick or what the story was last week or so, but he's back. He's good now. I think on the road, the Flyers honestly have a potential to sneak this game out outright. But regardless, I think this is a lower scoring defensive game. So give me the plus 1.5 just in case we see another OT game like we did in Dallas last night.
Very interesting. I could get behind that play. Great call on the ice last night with that Stars game going to OT. Hilarious. It did.
Very fun.
Cashed on that. What was the first number next to that plus sign on that OT bet?
For the OT, it was 3. It was plus 320. 320.
Okay. All right. We take that, though. We move. We don't complain.
We do take that. Yeah.
We love that.
100%.
Great read there. Wouldn't hate stay on the ice today. Once again, Giovanni, you've been hot. Knock on wood. So
yeah,
not opposed to going on the ice. We could throw that in the squad rides. Let me get my NBA pitch out of the way, and then we can move. I like the Suns tonight. And, guys, you know I hate the Suns' guts. Although I've come around to Kevin Durant in recent years. I kind of like him. He's a troll. I don't like Bradley Beal. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a player. He's not a winner. I've talked about that a bunch. Has some pretty good points, in my opinion. But in this spot, coming off of back-to-back losses as favorites, Javon, against Minnesota, who has the second-best record right now in the West behind the Nuggets. That cannot last. That team doesn't win. I don't like the culture on that squad one bit either. But they're on absolute fire right now, Javon, the T-Wolves are. They've won 6 games in a row, something crazy like that. And with Phoenix coming off of 2 brutal losses as favorites, they're now home. They've had 3 days off to prep for this game. They better be fucking pissed off because they're playing like shit and they're lazy as heck. That's what happens when you sign Bradley Beal. But in this spot to bounce back, I like them laying 6. I thought that spread was fat for how bad they've been playing this season early on and how good Minnesota has looked. And Minnesota's coming off a back-to-back, which I love fading as well. So maybe this game starts out a little slow and close, and maybe even Minnesota looking okay early. But I think Phoenix pulls away late with some tired legs from Minnesota in the second half, and they get a big-time cover and win by 10+.
Well, I don't disagree. Let me tell you something that could potentially scare you. This is the first game of Booker, Beal, and KD. This is their debut together.
Whose debut is it tonight?
It's their debut as a group, like Beal and
So they're
KD
doing fucking load management. Kawhi Leonard, this shit doesn't work. Go 500 so far this season.
Booker's been hurt.
Booker's been hurt. This is his first game back, so the first time they're playing all together, the 3 of them.
Yeah, that's fucking beat. I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
Just change it to Wizards team total over, and you're good.
I am off the Suns. Fuck Bradley Beal. Let's do the squad route. Ready?
Yeah, we can do that.
Chat, somebody tell me why Bradley Beal is a good basketball player. In chat, give me one reason. One. And don't just tell me his stats 2 years ago when he, in garbage time, got the ball every possession and got to shoot because we had DoorDash drivers on our team around him. Give me an actual reason why Bradley Beal is a good basketball player in the NBA and a winner and a leader. Somebody tell me.
I think Slugger's on the right path here. He's raw.
You think Slugger is? He's raw in 2K. Okay, that's maybe the only good point so far yet. He's got cool hair. Okay, sure. He's a good midi shooter. Yeah, that matters in 2023. Yep, mid-range shots are really important these days. They're recommended by analytics to be shooting. What else, guys? Yeah, he plays great defense, right? Doesn't play a lick of defense. Oh, he wants to win, right? He has a good track record of that, right? No, the guy actually doesn't give a shit about winning. And he actually does not play when he has the littlest of injuries. He is the worst. And I'm officially off of the Suns tonight. I honestly might even fade him. I might flip that motherfucker.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I still I'm not taking them personally, but I wouldn't think about fading them. I still agree with the play. It's just tough to play in their debut.
You want to take Philly on the ice plus 1.5?
Yes.
Okay. You want to take Buffalo plus 7.5 on the gridiron?
Sure. Trust you with that one.
Okay. You want to take some CBB plays?
Take the Hokies.
You want to take the Hokies?
I'm down to take the Hokies.
You want to buy low on the Hokies?
I do.
You know you're never going to have to worry about effort. You're never going to have to worry about prep or heart when you back the Hokies. You just have to worry about skill.
Yeah. And I just gotta worry. Make sure that Darius Maddox takes 0 shots. That's all we need.
Darius Maddox is on George Mason starting as their shooting guard, so you're good.
Oh shit, yeah, actually.
Yeah, you're in bed.
We're good.
He's off the team. He quit mid-season like a bitch.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yep. So he's off the team. He quit mid-season and didn't go to the games and stopped showing up and is a loser. These kids these days, man. These kids, they got no team building. They got no chem. They got no heart. It's all I, me. It's no we. I hate it. I hate it.
Ew.
Bring me back Zach LeDay. Any college basketball weirdos in here remember Zach LeDay on the Hokies in the paint with the headbands? That guy was a team player. Fucking beast. I really like Radford. Javon, we can put the Hokies in there, though. I'm down for a bounce back spot, minus 21.5. What about Radford? Keep it close down there in Blacksburg. It's only 20 minutes away.
Sure.
You got another play up your sleeve?
I mean, we could always go to the Hoyas.
Yeah, we could go to the Hoyas. What would be our other option?
I was going to say, unless you got something you like better.
I don't have many. Much. I don't know. I think I'm just biased about the Hoyas. I just don't love hearing it, but I really liked your sell job. So I'm not opposed to putting that in if you love it. The only other play I'd say would probably be fucking Delaware State. So I'm cool with putting Georgetown in if you really like it.
I mean, I really don't care if we put it in or not because it's realistically not getting votes anyway. But
Let's put Georgetown in there.
you can put it on.
Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. You have 1 minute to vote. Hurry the fuck up. Go, 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 go. If you're watching this in YouTube, come over to the Twitch and vote in chat right now. You have 60 seconds. Hurry up. Go, go, go. If you're in Twitch right now, open up the chat. Vote. Click the right button. That's all you got to do. 5 plays, 5 winners. Philly plus 1.5 on the ice, Javon. We've got Buffalo plus 7.5 on the gridiron. Give me VT and the Hokies minus 21.5. And Radford, let's stay close to Southwest Virginia and grab those plus 4.5 points, Javon. We might need them. And then take me to Georgetown and that Moose Shit team plus 10 against another Moose Shit team. That's okay.
Yeah.
Good. 5 plays, 5 winners, Chad. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Get your votes in. We don't have enough. Hurry up. Go.
Yes, yeah, so CBB slate. Give me my.
We squad ride Bradley Beal over points. Yeah, you know he's about to drop a 30 burger after that rant. You know it.
You know
Lock it in. Especially with D-Book coming back too. Everyone expecting him or Durant to be the one to go off. It probably will be fucking Beal. That is the contrarian angle tonight. God damn it. Oh. Crabs, remember Jeff Allen. Who the fuck is Jeff Allen?
Jeff Allen's crazy.
Who's Jeff Allen? Why do I not remember who that is?
It's probably not going to win the Sky Ride vote, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I said that so intentionally.
Shouldn't have said that.
No, I said it for a reason.
No way it just won. Georgetown plus
daring.
10.5.
I was daring them.
Javon, I hope you knew what you were fucking doing. Because you might have
yeah.
just bamboozled chat and voted for your favorite play. Played BC and flicked off the crowd one game. Oh, no, I don't remember that guy, but that's hilarious. Are you talking about Seth Allen? You talking about Seth Allen, the point guard? Is that who you're talking about from Maryland? Transfer a couple years ago? I remember Seth. He was a beast. I smoked a blunt with him. Don't tell anybody that, though. W's chat. We got a freaking squad ride nuke today. Georgetown plus 10.5. Javon's favorite sneak play. He just bamboozled you guys into voting for it. No, he was a center. Okay, I did not smoke a blunt with that guy. Chat, we'll be on here same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you guys stick around for the Surge stream with Mikey and Shelly right after this. W's gents. I'll be on there shortly too. Chat, squad ride, Georgetown plus 10.5. Pinch your nose, close your eyes, and book it. It's a winner. And Javon, we'll catch the boys tomorrow on here, same time, same place. We'll be seeing.